Imu is by far the most mysterious One Piece character we have ever seen so far in the story, because we have so many questions regarding Imu, but not a lot is known about them. We don't even know if Imu is a man or a woman, which is why in this video I will be referring to Imu with non-gendered pronouns. So Oda introduced us to Imu in chapter 906, which is crazy when you think about it because it took over 900 chapters for Oda to finally reveal the main antagonist of his story. People had always thought it would be a Kainu or Blackbeard that Luffy defeats as the final villain in One Piece, but it turns out it was someone that was hidden in the shadows all along. Imu is the one that sits on the empty throne and is the supreme leader of the world government, but nobody in the One Piece world knows this apart from the 5 elders who answer directly to Imu. Not even a Kainu knows about Imu, and he is the fleet admiral, which is the highest rank in the Marines. So Imu's greatest strength lies in their anonymity, since no one knows they exist. No one can target them, because after all, how do you go after an enemy you don't even know exists? But in today's video, we will be uncovering the true secret of Imu, explaining everything there is to know about them and what their true goal is. And if you want to see more videos like this, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss out on future videos. So to begin uncovering Imu's secret, we need to start with the 5 elders, because they are the only ones who are in direct contact with Imu, and they seem to be linked to Imu. But there is actually a servant that seems to be at Imu's side as well, but since we know absolutely nothing about this servant, there is no point in dwelling on it. The 5 elders are nothing more than puppets to Imu. They do absolutely everything that Imu says, and in exchange, Imu grants them immortality, meaning they are immune to dying of old age or any sort of illnesses. And this was finally proven in chapter 1125. Imu took away Saturn's immortality and left him to decay away into bones, and he was spontaneously replaced by Saint Figerland Garling. So that gives us a great insight on how Imu's powers work, because they can grant immortality to just about anybody it seems and take it away instantly. This next part is a theory, but I think Imu can't grant immortality to more than 5 people. This would explain why Saturn's immortality card had to be taken away from him and given to Garling, as well as why there are only 5 elders and not 6 or 7. But it is unclear if the powers that the 5 elders possesses comes from Imu, or if it is the effect of a devil fruit. But I do think that it is more likely that their transformation is thanks to Imu, because Oda chose to not reveal the name of their devil fruits when they transformed for the first time, making me believe that they do not have a devil fruit, and Imu was the one who granted them their powers. So, Imu has the power to grant immortality and bestow yokai transformations on anyone they wish, and Imu also seems to have their own yokai transformation, since we saw them transform in chapter 1085 when Sabo confronted the 5 elders and Imu in the throne room. But what about Imu's character? Well, Imu seems to act like a spoiled brat. At first, we thought Imu was silent and emotionless, but Oda has shown us the opposite of that. From the very few scenes we have seen of Imu, they throw tantrums when things don't go their way, just like a spoiled child would. They are entitled and dependent. Imu relies on the world government and the 5 elders to fix Imu's own problems and do whatever they say. And Imu has been shown to panic under certain situations, which shows us that they are not fearless at all. They let fear influence their behavior and they responded with anger, which is why they decided to immediately terminate Saturn for his failure. So Imu could very well be a child, judging from the way they act and talk. And what's interesting is that this could be a reference to the famous children's picture book called Where Wild Things Are, where in this story, a kid is sent to an island that is inhabited by 5 monsters. If this is true, then the 5 elders are a direct reference to these monsters, and in the picture book, the kid becomes the king of the monsters and rules over them. This is very similar to Imu, since they are the king of the world government and rules over the 5 elders. So given the similarities this story has to Imu and the 5 elders, it is highly likely that Imu is a child that was based on this story. And if they are indeed a child, then it means that they have stopped aging. Imu has always gotten everything they wanted, so it makes sense that they would still have the temperament of a child and act like it, since they have never experienced any real struggle in their life. So Imu acts like a spoiled child, has the ability to grant immortality, and is able to transform into a monster. These are all the things we know for certain about Imu's character and abilities. But now let's talk about Imu's greatest creation, which is the world government. Imu founded the world government after the 20 kingdoms, and Imu were able to defeat Joy Boy and the ancient kingdom. I believe that Imu based Mariadra's, the so-called Holy Land where all the nobles are allowed to live, on the ancient kingdom. It has always been stated that the ancient kingdom in One Piece were technologically superior to any other kingdom. Even till this day, no other country has come close to what the ancient kingdom was able to do 900 years ago. And we know this because Vegapunk has confirmed to us that the ancient kingdom was far superior to Egghead, despite Egghead being the most technologically advanced island that exists in the present time. So Imu envied the ancient kingdom, which is why they went to war against it, and after having won the war, Imu decided to try and recreate their own version of the ancient kingdom. But Imu has never been able to understand the technology that the ancient kingdom possessed. Because as we can see from the present day, Imu hasn't been able to create an advanced civilization. And I think the reason for this is because the technology that the ancient kingdom had has either been destroyed or has sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Since we know that a great flood happened during the Void Century, sinking the ancient world at the bottom of the ocean, thus making it not possible for Imu to study the advanced technology that the ancient kingdom had, and not make it possible for Imu to recreate it, since most of it lies at the bottom of the ocean. So since Imu couldn't recreate their own version of the ancient kingdom, they turned to slavery as a mean to build and maintain power, since they were unable to replicate the advanced technology of the ancient kingdom, which is why slavery has become common amongst the nobles and in Mariadra's. Imu couldn't figure out how to make an advanced civilization, so they are using slavery to attempt to replicate the technology that the ancient kingdom had. But relying on slaves to do the work that machines once did is neither practical nor as efficient. Also, thanks to Imu, we have a clear idea of what the will of D is, because in chapter 1085, when Imu was talking to Sabo, they said that the D is the name that Imu's ancient enemy had. Knowing that Imu went to war against the ancient kingdom, it is very obvious that they are talking about them here, meaning that every person with the letter D in their name are direct descendants of the people that used to live in the ancient kingdom, which is why people refer to them as the natural enemy of God. Their ancestors opposed Imu and the 20 kingdoms, and now in the present time, Imu sees themselves as a god, and the nobles don't even consider themselves to be mere humans. They literally don't even want to breathe the same air as them. So the people with the letter D in their name are the opponents of Imu, since they carry on the will of the ancient kingdom. This is what the will of D means. So thank you guys for making it till the end of this video, and this was my full analysis on Imu so far into the story. And if you want to know more about Joy Boy and Imu during the Void Century, then check out the video that is on the screen right now.